Like most people, I think, in this country, I've been thinking about the election process and also democracy in general. um, I think the last 4 years have been very challenging for everyone. Um, I also think that unregulated social media has adversely influenced the conversations in this country. And I think that's something that needs to be continually tackled. And, social media, they're starting to move on that a little bit and getting it cleaned up a bit. And a lot of work needs to be done there, I think. But of course, this is samsara, so it's helpful to keep the vast view. But we do have an opportunity to recalibrate with the change in leadership, irregardless of who we voted for. The very first line in the Constitution starts with, "We the people." When these words were written, the idea that a country could be governed by its citizens seemed revolutionary, impossible. But for 244 years, the United States has done just that, the impossible. Democracy is not about me. It's not about you. It's not about a specific group. It's not about a specific party or ideology. It's about us, all of us, we the people. On January 9th, 1790, George Washington said, "The establishment of our new government seemed to be the last great experiment for promoting human happiness." I've been thinking a lot about what that quote means. It seems to me democracy is the last great experiment for promoting human happiness because, if followed as intended, it is in alignment with reality. It reflects the interdependence of all. It is designed to allow all to have a voice. When we allow all voices to be heard using the framework of respect, honesty, compassion, empathy, and inclusion, then great things can happen. And we've seen that in our history over and over again. His Holiness writes in How to See Yourself as You Really Are, "The theory of dependent arising can be applied everywhere. One benefit of applying this theory is that viewing a situation this way gives you a more holistic picture. Since whatever the situation is, good or bad, it depends on causes and conditions. An event is not under its own power, but depends on many present causes and conditions, as well as many past causes and conditions. Otherwise, it could not come into being. When you think from this viewpoint, you can see much more of the whole picture. And from this viewpoint, you can see much more, and from this viewpoint, you can see a wider perspective. You can see the reality of the situation, its interdependence. With the help of this relational outlook, the action that you take will be realistic. In international politics, for example, without such an outlook, a leader might see a problem as created by a single person, who then becomes an easy target. But that is not realistic. The problem is much wider. Violence produces a chain reaction. Without a broader perspective, even if the motivation is sincere, any attempt to handle the situation becomes unrealistic. The actions taken will not be well-founded because of the lack of a holistic picture, of understanding the web of causes and conditions involved. Similarly, in economics, if you just go after profit, you end up with corruption. Look at the increasing corruption in many countries. By considering all commercial actions to be morally neutral, we turn a blind eye to exploitation. Failure to look at the whole picture means realism is lost. The attitude that money alone is sufficient leads to unforeseen consequences. Money is certainly necessary, for instance. If you thought that religious retreat and meditation alone was sufficient, then you would not have anything to eat. Many factors have to be considered. With awareness of the fuller picture, your outlook becomes reasonable and your actions become practical. And in this way, favorable results can be achieved. We, the people, all having a say in this government, keeps our awareness of the fuller picture, taking into consideration all people, not just certain groups, not just certain ideologies. This reflects the makeup of our country, a variety of many different people, the reality of the makeup of our country. We know that aligning ourselves with reality sets the stage for favorable results, which in turn brings the circumstances for more care and compassion for all citizens of this country. Now, it's true this country has very complex problems. It seems at times they are unsurmountable. But here's the thing. The notion that all Americans are the holder of the power in this country brings about results that are very powerful because it includes all of us. So now it's time for us to come together and repair and begin the dialogue to address the problems in this country. There are those in this country who try to distract us from the real threats we face, including hatred, bigotry, and intolerance. If we listen to those messages and become scared or suspicious of anyone who looks, speaks, prays differently than we do, when we are scared of other sentient beings, this is when those who are intolerant, those who are divisive, those who are bigoted, take power. This erodes our fundamental values laid down in our Constitution. We the people means you, means me. That means those who look, speak, pray differently than we do. That means we can agree to disagree with respect and compassion. We have the opportunity to heal this country by actions starting now. We the people.